let me take the first time thoughts of Mavis on this from the perspective of how shocking and how seismic is this. Mavis, thank you.
Thank you very much, Bernard. So let me begin by saying, like everything that President Trump has done, it shouldn't be a surprise. This has been coming for a long time. All that Trump did in his second term is push us off the cliff. Okay, so trade wars, you know, we've been debating and discussing it for a long time. Our relationship with Europe as Africa has been shifting for a while. The difference is Europe did not push us off a cliff edge. When Trump came in his first term, most of the tariffs he put in place were kept by the Democrats. Okay, nothing changed. And so what tends to happen is in his second term, he decided, you know, this is too slow. And he's pushed everybody off a cliff edge, and we all seem surprised by it. So the first thing is, for me, Bernard, it's not a surprise. We've seen this coming. It's the time frame that seems to have shocked everybody. And the fact that it has been, let's move, let's stop, let's move, let's stop, let's move that, let's stop, tells you about the uncertainty and the lack of an analysis underpinning this and the amount of work. It's shocking the system for the system to respond, okay? So what I think for me really was devastating as an African as we watched this process was, as soon as Trump announced the first round of tariffs and everybody was shocked, the Asians got together and started strategizing and planning, okay? They didn't go one by one to see Trump. They didn't start negotiating with ambassadors at their nation states. They came together and said, as a sub-region, how do we respond to this issue? And came up with a game plan. Immediately, America realized that it had to take a different approach to how it engaged with Asia. Where is our common voice? And having said this, remember, ASEAN is not a bloc. It doesn't tout to be AU or AFCFTA or any of the things we are so proud about. It doesn't do it. It doesn't have a theoretical framework it's proud about. But it had a structure for implementation in a crisis. So my first question, the thing that disappointed me the most in all of this was Africa forgot why we set up the AFCFTA in the first place. Africa forgot the processes we have in place for the African Union. In fact, Africa even forgot we had the AFDB, because it wasn't until a week ago that I had an AFDB position on the tariffs. We all started going one by one by one by one. So, and then the final point I wanted to make was, and then we are helter-skeltering again, including in our beloved Ghana, and saying, what is the impact going to be on us? What is the impact going to be on us? What is the impact going to be on us? I just want to leave you with one very quick statistic. We talk about diversification as if it's the most attractive thing on the planet Earth, and we do nothing about it, okay? In Africa, 14% of our trade is amongst ourselves, okay? But 40% of this trade is manufacturing, okay? So when we trade with ourselves, we trade on the thing that will deepen our economies, structurally transform our economies, and help us compete, okay? Asia does it without setting up an AFCFTA. And they compete with the world by working together, and when they have a crisis, they come together and fix it, okay? So we are busy panicking because of one country. And Mr. Koto, you were talking a lot about, you know, the link between EU and Africa, it's EU and America, and who takes our raw material and adds value to it, etc., etc., etc. For me, that is a red herring. You know, the Lobito corridor should be our priority right now. The Akosombo corridor You know, Bernard, can I digress for 1 second? Just 1 second.
Feel free.
We have a 25% decrease on our imports all of a sudden. Suddenly we're paying 25% less on our imports because of the Cedi appreciation. Okay? And we're talking about the Akosombo corridor. We know most of that stuff has to be imported in for us to build that industrial park that we want. Shouldn't this be the time when the business community and government should be sitting together to think through how we fast track that? So that we can start laying the foundation for trading with Africa and the rest of the world, instead of worrying about Trump's trade tariffs, which, to be honest, it's almost negligible on Ghana right now, if we are really honest. It's negligible on us.
So thank you, Mavis. A round of applause for Mavis. So